Neil Druckmann's Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet has gotten a lot of backlash for the manified, dudeified main character, where they clearly hired a beautiful actress and they trunified her, made her look like a dude, and now even she's speaking out against gamers, which is like, come on, man. We're not going after the original actress. Can you just, like, not get involved? It will not end well for you to get involved. I had this same type of scenario happen with the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, where I talked about one of the side characters, a prominent side character in that DLC, how she looked like a dude, and the actual actress took offense to that and made a TikTok about it, was hating on me, and that backfired colossally in her face, and she ended up taking that stuff down, which I even have videos from when that happened, if you guys search it. But that was quite the experience. But I think it's best for actresses in this kind of scenario, just, you don't have to chime in on this, because in these kind of situations, we're defending the actresses. We're saying, hey, the actress for this character is a lot prettier than this. Why did you make the character look uglier? It's not an attack on the actress herself. But let's go ahead and dive into this article from That Park Place. They said the gaming community has erupted in response to a recent social media attack by Tati Gabrielle, the lead actress of Naughty Dog's latest title, Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet. Gabrielle has come under fire after responding dismissively to fan backlash at her game's trailer, sparking further controversy around its less than stellar reception. Now, the actress in question here, I used to watch the Sabrina TV show, probably wouldn't now that I'm like really in my faith and all that, but that was when I wasn't. And I thought that actress was beautiful in that role. She still was feminine and womanly. So to take her, I think, granted, when people are showing pictures of her now and stuff, she may have leaned a little more into this they them type androgyny. I don't know. I just know, at least in that show, she was beautiful. She was feminine. She was like a bad guy, but she was like really good at that role, and that catty, pretty bad guy witch girl like type character. But anyway, so yeah, this is definitely, they definitely bulked her up and gave her a more androgynous frame. They definitely made it look like you can't really, I mean, is this a boy? Is this like a teenage boy, or is it a woman that's just masculine and butch? What is it? Like, they really, the gaming industry and Neil Druckmann in particular, because if y'all remember, there was an article from, and I've shared this before on videos, it's really hard to find it because it's been scrubbed from the internet, but there was an actual article that had a source who worked for Naughty Dog who spoke about how Naughty Dog deliberately androgenized their female characters for the Last of Us 2 because they wanted to appease transgenders, right? So they deliberately made the females look more masculine because they hired like very more feminine looking women and then made them look more masculine, gave them more androgynous body types to blur that line between male and female and to appease the transgender perversion in the process. Now, this is something that I keep saying, that the whole westernized uglification of female characters, I firmly believe, is part of this demonic ideology. It's part of trying to trick people's brains into not being able to tell the difference and blur those lines between male and female when there are obvious differences. It's to train people's brains to accept and see these men LARPing as women, to try to see them as women, which is crazy. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. So as you see, there's this image that somebody made. So her story, she said, "You mad, bro?" And I guess she shared this image because this was a fan art that somebody made and she must have shared it. And the funny thing, like, they're supposedly drinking incel tears. The funny thing about this is that the person who drew this image made the characters, made Siri and this character, Jordan, I think her name is, look more feminine than the actual in-game versions that we saw, which is funny. So it's like, wait, this isn't the own that you think it is, right? But anyway, of course, the actress had to chime in. Looking at her profile here, it does look like she may have leaned into that they, them. For all I know, maybe she identifies as they, them now. But this is what happens with people in Hollywood too, is Hollywood is corrupt. Hollywood is demonic. They get their roles. All of a sudden, they are used to what it was a lot of the women who got in Hollywood. They were just extremely sexualized, and goodness knows what happened to them, right? And were put into perverted, overtly sexual situations, and probably had to, use that casting couch to get themselves worked up in the industry, right? Well, now what we're seeing is a trunification, a trannification of actresses, right? So it's the same like demonic element as before, but it's just taken a different turn. So now it's like you'll see these feminine women, actual females who get their start in Hollywood, and all of a sudden they are changing, pretending like they're different genders now. And they're engulfed in this transgender ideology, cult, and demonic activities. So I think that's more along the same lines that, okay, in Hollywood, you've got to play the game, right? You've got to play the game to really make it big in Hollywood, with rare exception. Now, before, that was, a form of prostitution, pimping people out, things like that were happening with these casting directors and with these actors as well, the males as well, being sodomized and putting them in dresses and humiliation rituals and things like that. And people think this stuff is crazy, but Hollywood, the music industry, and honestly, I think even the gaming industry now, they're largely has a demonic influence. We do fight against not flesh and blood, but against evil principalities and demonic forces. And the world is Satan's playground right now until Jesus Christ returns. So yeah, in order to make it big in these, and a lot of people desire fame. And so in order to do that, they are essentially selling their soul through, being prostituted, or in this case, being engulfed in this is the thing right now. This is the really big demonic ideology right now, is to mutilate people, men and women alike, mutilate them and just pervert God's creation, male and female, try to pervert God's creation and blur those lines and make something that is an abomination to God as per the Bible. And so that is the thing right now. And they're probably also being abused, essayed as well. So, this is the thing. And when I speak out against perversion, because obviously, I've been speaking out against all the gay, trans, all this kind of demonic woke ideology that pushes that in the entertainment industry. But I also speak out against pornographic stuff, even if it's portrayed in a straight fashion, because that is part of the slippery slope that got us here in the first place. And sometimes I get some backlash when I speak out against, hey, games don't have to have these hardcore fornication scenes. Games don't have to have characters, men in banana hammocks or women in thongs. You can create beautiful characters and attractive characters without going perverted and pornographic with it, right? So the people who, and I find it odd, the people who defend or who there is a certain group of people who don't, and this is why it's like, dude, my foundation is just from the Bible and seeing how the corruption has spiraled things out of control right now, to where kids are being mutilated and kids are being brought into these perverted ideologies of the alphabet variety. But that started because of the more normalized perversion of pornographic type materials, right? That started. Even studies show that people who watch pornography, people are like, why are you saying that? Because if I say the real word, YouTube will demonetize me, all that stuff. But people who are watching that, a lot of them, I mean, I firmly believe, and even the studies that show this, is that all of this homosexuality, all of this transgender stuff, it would not be nearly as rampant if people were not watching pornography, because that is a slippery slope that leads to that. Because what it is, you can't contain sin. You can't say, oh, it's healthy to have sin as long as it's okay to watch perversion as long as it's portrayed in a straight fashion. No, because sin does not contain itself. It doesn't even stop there. But even so, even if it did stop there, that is abominable to God. God created that for the confines of marriage between a man and a woman. And so some people, oh, you're not Gamergate. You're not on our side because you don't want these, because I'm not in the Coomer games. I don't like Coomer games. I don't like perverted games. I don't like characters portrayed in perverted pornographic fashion. And people have been so brainwashed by pornography that they can't tell the difference between a beautiful woman and pornography. They're like, oh, you're a hypocrite because you like Lara Croft, but you're against this girl dancing in a thong. And it's like, has pornography really brainwashed you and melted your brain that much that you can't tell the difference between a girl in hiking gear and a girl dancing with her butt to the camera in a thong? That just a woman existing and wearing a pair of shorts is considered the same thing as a butt in front of a camera in a thong? Are you serious? But that's where we've gotten. And so at least I have a foundation and where my opinions are. Whereas the people, the hypocrisy really lies in, oh, you're against the true stuff, you're against the gay stuff, but you're okay with the perverted stuff as long as it's portrayed as straight. Then where are your values? That's hypocritical. So, oh, it's okay if I like it. Dude, that's perverted too. You're just the same thing. If you are promoting perversion in video games, but just as long as it's straight, you are no better than the people that are promoting this perversion of trunifying characters, the alphabet mafia, all of that. You're the same thing, essentially. So, like, my goodness, fine. If you're a woman, fine, get a husband. If you're a man, get a wife. You can admire characters and want them to be attractive and look good. But to want that, to use that as material for you to, to use that as that kind of material is, it's a bit disturbing in that case. And so here's the thing is, like, I've spoken out against this uglification of female characters for a while now. And people, and you always notice that the woke people fire back and they're like, oh, you just don't like it because you can't fap to these characters. And I've been saying ever since I even started this channel, obviously that's not what I'm asking for, is Coomer type games. I'm not asking for Coomer games. I don't want Coomer games. I don't want characters that are just portrayed for that kind of purpose. I want characters that look cool, that look good, and aren't pornographic. So, I mean, most people and most gamers don't want that crap. Like, most actual gamers want video games to be, what happened is the gaming industry and gamers at large have been hijacked by a bunch of perverts. Okay, so you got perverts on both sides of the aisle, whether they're straight perverts or queer perverts, it doesn't matter. They've gotten hijacked by perverts. And so a bunch of people just want to see their perversion in video games. And so then those of us real gamers who want good games and we want good art in those games and we want men to look like men and women to look like women. And we like characters who look attractive because that's a part of the experience of a larger than life experience of a video game. But we're not looking to games for these perversions and for these purposes. We're looking at video games as video games, and we want to play good video games that have good gameplay, and the good art and the cool looking characters just help that, right? They add to the experience. But what we've seen is a bunch of fake gamers perverted fake gamers who have taken over. That's the mainstream that people are trying to appeal to, one side or the other, and it's gotten insane. So anyway, TLDR, this actress looks like she sold her soul to the demonic Troon cult, and she doesn't like it that people don't like that her character looks like a dude. Apparently, we're supposed to be okay with this demonic crazy ideology, but of course she and anybody else who is engulfed in this demonic ideology, whichever side of the aisle it is, you can seek Jesus and be delivered from that, walking with him. So anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you want me to read the Bible to you, you can check out my Bible channel at Bible Time with Melanie Mack. Also videos, it's gonna be a lot less videos this week because I am about to spend Christmas, like I have almost a whole Christmas week with my family. So I'm going to have just this video and then maybe like one or two others, but then I'll be back next week. So it'll be a little bit of a break, but I will be back. Thank you all so much for your support as always. And I'll see you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.